Good morning. My name is Hallie Keisler, and I'm a senior here at Presbyterian College. I'm majoring in psychology and Spanish. When I was searching for my Spanish capstone project, I wanted to have something that was a practical topic and applied to all individuals and benefited everyone in the community. This is when I came across the option to be able to connect my internship and my capstone project. In my final semester here at PC, I've been serving as an intern at PASOs. PASOs is a nonprofit organization founded originally in Columbia, South Carolina. I've been working for this past semester in their Spartanburg office as an intern. PASO's overall mission is to create healthy Latino communities that contribute to South Carolina and make it stronger as a whole. The organization was founded in 2005 to bridge the gap between the South Carolina healthcare system and communication of access and information to the Latino community. They stand on three main focus points being education, connection, and advocacy. PASOS educates the Latino community about their access to resources in the healthcare system, along with family health, developmental milestones for their children, and skills in healthy parenting. And lately, they educate on vaccines and viruses for the COVID-19 pandemic, as a lot of the resources are not readily available or translated for the Latino community. The second focus being connection. As for the value of connection, they create programs and networks within the healthcare system and social services to allow for more effective service in the South Carolina healthcare system, making connections not only to the healthcare offices, but offices within the South Carolina state government, connecting the Latino community to those who can effectively communicate with them. And lastly, advocacy. In terms of advocacy, PASOS pushes for South Carolina to create a more inclusive system and expand their services as the demographic of the state is continually changing and growing. When I started my internship, I was mainly looking for a way to expand my knowledge of Spanish and my ability to articulate my thoughts in another language. I wanted to lend a helping hand where I could, whether that be copying papers, entering data, just doing normal office work. Going into my internship, I really thought that's all I was going to do. Little did I know the reality of all I was going to have the opportunity to take part in. In my second week on site, I began to assist in healthy parenting classes that PASOS offers to the Latino community at night. I worked with the smaller children, playing, learning everyday words that Latino children say in Spanish, coloring, and getting a lot of snuggle time with cute babies like the one you see in the first picture to the left. PASOS somehow doesn't seem like an everyday's work to me. It's an everyday of open opportunity. Another day, I got to go along with my coworkers to Greenville to pick up diapers for incoming families who needed a little extra help. Not only did I get to translate for my coworkers, but in the 30 minutes to and from Greenville, I learned so much about the struggles that our clients go through in every stage of motherhood and the support that they need and what PASOS provides to them. Some of my internship was done behind closed doors, as you can see in these three pictures. This is a closet in our office that is normally used for all our evaluation materials. As you can see, starting from the left, it was very unorganized. There was things thrown everywhere. And I had the opportunity to transform this closet into something that could be used every day in PASOS. We use the 5S methodology, which starts with sort. So you sort everything into piles, whether it's to be donated, it's going to be useful for your organization, or it is just trash. Then we order it. So like you can see in the second picture, I put all the boxes that go together in a stack along with tops that go together. And then also I put each of the evaluation tools in different boxes so that I could see what all we had. Next, you shine. So I wiped down every box in that room. I wiped on every shelf, every wall. and then you standardize it. So standardizing is like making labels and that kind of thing. So I made labels for each box in Spanish and English translations, because most of the individuals that we work with do speak Spanish and most of our coworkers speak Spanish. So it's just easier doing both of those translations on each box. And then lastly, you sustain. So sustaining is having a method that continually puts back into itself. So as you can see in the last photo, each of those boxes have labels. So in us having labels and each of them being put in boxes by their evaluation number, it gives our coworkers an ability to go ahead and put everything back in that box once they finish and put it exactly right back where it goes on the shelf, knowing exactly what needs to be in that box. I enjoyed every part of this because I am such an organized individual, and this was a really fun time for me because I got to spend a lot of time with my supervisor and learn a lot about just like speaking Spanish and translating and all those kind of things. So overall outcomes for my internship, of course, I've highlighted the larger activities, but there are multiple things that I've learned along the way. I learned linguistic skills, those office work skills that I talked about in the beginning. I made many community connections, whether that be in night classes, at Prisma Help when we were doing diapers, during our vaccination clinics. I got to meet a lot of people and make a lot of friends along the way that I think will really support me in my life's career of being an OT. I got to gain a lot of interpersonal skills and how to talk with individuals and how to connect with them. I gained expansive knowledge on the Latino community and the needs within it. I also gained cultural sensitivity and awareness as I learned with the Latino community what they needed. How do I approach the situation in a respectful and understanding manner? And that is probably one of the biggest things that I've learned. But my overall takeaway from the PASOs internship would have to be my capstone project, which is bilingualism. These ladies in this picture, my coworkers, they taught me the need and importance of bilingualism. If you don't know what it is, bilingualism is when a speaker of one language can produce complete, meaningful communication in another language. On the day that we went to go get diapers from the warehouse, it became a reality to me of what bilingualism is. As we were on the way there, one of my coworkers looked at me in the back seat and said, "Haley, do you mind translating for us?" And I said, "Of course, why not?" As soon as we started talking to the ladies in the warehouse, one of my coworkers asked a question in Spanish to me, and I translated it into English. And the lady responded with a long explanation in English to me, but then followed her long explanation with, "You can just say a shorter version in Spanish." Obviously, I did not like this. And I felt that my coworkers deserved the exact same long-winded explanation that I got in English, just in Spanish. So on my way home from my internship that day, I called my advisor, Dr. Knight, with all of my frustrations. She told me to start looking into bilingualism, and it really opened up a can of worms for me altogether. Bilingualism is not only an articulation of language, but a cultural understanding of interpretation. PASOS does not just do this for the Latino community, but it does it for all of South Carolina. They have the foundational knowledge to support and advocate for individuals of the community in a meaningful and impactful way that falls in line with our cultural values. So, I say all this to challenge you as individuals of the Presbyterian College community and our South Carolina community as a whole. If learning Spanish is not in your wheelhouse of capabilities right now, I beg you to please look into the cultural aspects and implications that every one of you communicate and how you communicate with others. Make sure that your communication to others is done in a meaningful way, not only to your cultural aspects, but to their cultural interpretations. Does anyone have any questions for me?